Okay, so before you decide to watch this video, I'm just going to start off by telling you this video is going to be a little long. All right, I don't know how long, but you decide whether you want to stick around or not. Before we begin, though, I am Tamara Tamu. You have just reached another episode of Unleashed Alchemy. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button, all right? Hit the notification bell so that as a subscriber, you can be the first to know when I drop new videos. I drop videos 2 a week. Yes, 2 videos a week because it's so important to me for people to step into their spiritual elevation and into their spiritual mastery. So this is what I am called to do. All right. So if you are ready, if you want to step into your spiritual elevation and into your spiritual mastery more and more and more every day, then you're in the right place. All right. Let's get into today's episode. We're going to talk about how your focus and what you're focused on, how that influences your manifestation, how that influences your creation, how your focus influences the level in which you operate as a creative force in your own life first. All right. But first, we need to ask this question. We need to ask ourselves this question. You need to ask yourself this question. What is your focus? All right. What is your focus? Why is it important to ask yourself that question? Because your focus influences your intention. Your focus influences your intention. And by the way, there's going to be a lot of levels in this video. All right. You may want to either take notes, or if you would like to have the actual blueprint for this episode, send me a comment. Drop a comment and let me know if you would like to receive the PDF, not the actual script, but the information that I will provide for you in this video. If you would like to have the PDF version of it. All right. Just let me know in the comment and I'll send it to you. So again, what is your focus? Your focus influences your intention. So when we are creating, which is in every single moment, when we are manifesting, which is in every single moment, what we are focusing on in that moment is the only thing that matters. So when we hear theology such as pray to God to fix it, or let God handle it, that type of theology and messaging is so harmful because it renders people powerless. All right? That theology is harmful because it is anti-sovereign. It is anti-self-empowerment because you are led to believe that your creation power is on the outside of you and that you have to wait for something or someone else to give you the permission to use it, which is not the case. All right. So let me give you an example of what that harmful theology actually looks like. Let me paint a picture for you. So when you have masses of people that are told to let God handle their problems and just give it to God, number one, that renders a consciousness and it renders an identity that causes people to operate in believing that they are separate from creation power. That's number one. Number two, these same people are told to pray to a God to get rid of whatever is undesirable or whatever is unwanted. So it renders people to believe that they have to pray and beg for something that they don't want to be removed from their life. Number three, that same prayer then becomes a conjuring of the exact thing that you do not want because that is where your energy is focused. That is why religious programming is so problematic. All right. So, meanwhile, you live your life waiting for a God to remove the unwanted. So your focus stays in that unwanted loop. This is why you see people going through the same thing over and over and over again, having the same mediocre experiences because they keep living in that energy of the unwanted instead of stepping into their sovereignty to command what they desire. So you see how your focus is so important in your creation power. Let me give you some examples. Let me give you some real examples that all of you can relate to. All right. So let's use the workplace, for example. Let's say that you're working with a company right now. And let's say that the reality is that you're working with messy people. They're horrible people. All right. They cause a lot of confusion. They keep a lot of mess going. You can feel the agitation in whatever office or whatever environment or, however the workplace is set up for you. Now, as a mere mortal who begs for the unwanted to go away, who believes and who's been influenced by religious programming that something outside of you is going to fix all of this in your workplace, a mortal will beg for relief. A mortal will beg, for this God to take away everything, take away the coworkers, take away the agitation. Make these coworkers appreciate me. Make these coworkers like me. And on down the line. So meanwhile, while you're praying that and conjuring, because you're still conjuring that same situation because that's where your focus is. Your focus is on everything that you don't want. Your focus is on the messy coworkers. Your focus is on the confusion. Your focus is on the agitation. So meanwhile, your situation hasn't changed. So now what happens is you're frustrated, trying to figure out what you've done wrong because your situation hasn't changed. So now you feel like your self-worth is now affected. You feel like there's something wrong with you because you're doing all of this praying and nothing has changed. So now you think you've done something wrong. That's what a mortal does who does not understand their power, who has not stepped into their elevation, because your focus is off. Now, still using the same example of the workplace, now we can flip it. So now instead of focusing on all these things that you don't want, now you can focus as a spiritual master. Okay, what do I desire in this workplace? You desire peace. You desire to have good communication, healthy, productive communication with everyone that you work with. You desire to come in to your office and be productive, or wherever your workplace is. You desire for there to be calm in the workplace, in your work, at your desk, in your meetings, in your board meetings. All right? You desire, and yes, you deserve, but the word that I want to use right now is you desire for being surrounded by people who have boundaries. That is your focus. That is your desire. So then what do you do as a sovereign being you are immortal? Your soul is immortal. You're immortal. Your soul does not die. So what do you do as a supernatural sovereign being? You begin to command the joy. You command the peace. You command the productivity. You command the boundaries. See how your focus has changed. Your focus is now on what you desire. So what happens is you begin to see your environment conform to what you say. You haven't, and notice in your sovereign identity, because your focus is on what you desire, you haven't said anything about those people. You haven't begged for anything. You have not asked for anything. You haven't even asked for those people to even be removed from your office or your workspace. Your focus is not on them. Your focus is on what you desire. Your focus is on yourself. All right? So notice the difference here. Now, when the sovereign you takes over, the spiritual master in you is expressed. The spiritual master in you takes over. So now, this is what this looks like. Again, using the example of the workplace. I just said this. You never have to mention the other people. Now, what could happen is that all of a sudden you could get promoted to a completely different department where now you are working with other people in the environment that you have commanded. You could be offered another position in another department. Those people that were the source of the confusion, you may never see them again. And you don't have to go anywhere, but you may never see them again. They may disappear, which has nothing to do with you. That is not your issue. You could start receiving downloads of all of these lucrative business ideas that you've never even thought of, because you're meant to be a business owner. You're not meant to work for any other company. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but maybe for you and what is aligned for your soul is to be the ruler of the marketplace as a business owner. Yes, you could get fired to start and take action and to implement one or two or three of those lucrative business ideas. So, as a sovereign being, your focus is on your desire, not how it's going to take place, but the focus is on you. You see how that works? I'm going to use another example to drive this home. And this is why I was telling you, again, I'm going to repeat this. This is why I was telling you to either take notes or let me know in the comments if you would like to receive the PDF of this that we're talking about, because there's a lot here. So let's take the example of health. All right. Let's take the example of health. Now, this, as a mortal, all right, if you're focused on health, it begs some identity outside of you to take away pain in your body. So your focus is on the pain that persists while you wait for a God to take away the pain or to take away or to fix the pain. All right. Now, I'm bringing up health. I know that this can be a tricky topic. It can be a touchy topic, but I'm bringing it up anyway to show that we have sovereign place. We have sovereign placement over everything that occurs in our lives. And yes, that includes our health. Having an illness, having a pain is not natural. For us to be completely pain-free, for our cells to work the way that they were designed to, that is what is natural for us. Because certain things like, and I'm going to use this example, because certain things like a headache, we call it common? No, that is, we call it natural because it is so common. No, a pain in your body is not natural. Just like being broke is not natural. But that's, I also have that as another example. So anyway, let's get back to the health part. So you have a pain, okay? You're waiting for this God out there to fix it as a mortal. When you're looking at yourself as just a mere mortal, just existing here, passing through life, all right? As a sovereign being, you command complete health and wellness in every single moment. As a sovereign being, you command that your body is only available for flexibility, optimal posture, optimal mobility, optimal function of every single organ in your body at all times. From this moment onward. That is what you can command as a sovereign being. Now, what can this look like? We're going to follow the same format that I use with the example of the workplace. What can this look like? Well, you'll start to notice as a sovereign being, if we're using the example of pain in your body, you may be guided. You may feel this tug and this pull to go get a massage. A person could all of a sudden gift you a massage that you didn't even see coming. That very massage could take the pain away. Now, with that example, you may be saying, well, I thought you said you don't look to anyone outside of you to take away the pain. Correct. You're not looking for anyone outside of you to take away the pain. Yet, because we exist on this physical plane, because of our command, because we commanded that our bodies are only available for optimal health, spirit, source, infinite intelligence will use what is existing on this physical plane to make that happen. So your external environment conforms to what you say. All right. Now, what else could happen? You may get an idea, or you may come across some information about doing a particular exercise in your body that focuses on, like, say if you have back pain or something, you're feeling some back pain, you may be guided or come across an exercise or some information that will give you steps on how to do a certain exercise to take away that lower back pain. It could be any pain. Another thing that could happen, while you are commanding, all of a sudden you may have a download or a message, or something may come up that you may find some grief or loss that you are holding on to, is still resting in your consciousness, that you need to face. And you may be thinking, well, I have this head pain or this back pain. Why am I thinking of this particular grief or this loss that I thought that I dealt with? It could be something along those lines, but that is your infinite intelligence. That is your creator within telling you, hey, this grief and this loss is still somehow resting in your consciousness, so you need to face it. You face it and the pain goes away. Something along those lines may come back up in your consciousness. And I'm going to repeat myself here. And you may say, well, I thought I was done with that. Well, the residue is still there. It's causing you some back pain or head pain. Deal with it. Pain is gone. This is how infinite intelligence works with us. That is magic. That is manifestation. That is creation power. All right. Let's move into another example. One of my favorites, money. Now, if you are existing as a mere mortal, just whatever happens is just going to happen. I'm going to just leave it to God to fix it. A mere mortal prays and asks God for more money, for a bill to be paid. A mere mortal is always wondering, when am I going to get more money? A mortal will beg someone not stepping into their spiritual sovereignty, will beg and plead and pray for a bill to be paid, or for their rent to be paid, or for their car note to be paid, or for their mortgage to be paid. Please, I need more money. Meanwhile, the money situation never changes. If there are changes, it comes with intense struggle and upheaval. For example, working 2 and 3 jobs. And the reason I use that example, that's one example, is because I experienced that. All right, 2 and 3 jobs. Having more money does not take all that. That is upheaval. It is exhausting. All right. So you're praying and pleading because you haven't stepped into your sovereignty. But a sovereign being, what does that look like when it comes to the example of money? First of all, a sovereign, remember, a sovereign is not praying. A sovereign being is not asking. A sovereign spiritual master commands. So this person, she, he, you, are not begging for a light bill or any bill to be paid. As a matter of fact, you don't even call your bills bills. They are energetic exchanges. All right? They're not expenses. They are expanders. All right? And you're not even spending money. You are circulating. You are using money. Now, a sovereign being knows, you know as a sovereign being, you have more than enough money always to use for your energetic exchanges, including a light bill. You also know that as a cosmic sovereign being, that you came into this body to experience harmony in all functions, aspects of your life, including in your finances. None of us came here to be broke. We came here to be rich, whatever rich looks like to you. Because we are the energy of money, because of the water that flows through our system, that's another topic for another day. We are currency. We were not designed to struggle and work hard for currency, for dollars. We were not designed that way. Again, that's another topic for another video. All right. But going back to the example, you know that you have the power to live in harmony on this physical plane, which includes having now an abundance of money, an abundance of energy exchange. You know that the flow of money that you experience in your life, and if you're listening carefully, you know that I'm giving you a spell. Some people may call it affirmation, incantation, whatever. But I'm giving you powerful words to speak over yourself. All right. So you know that the flow of money that you experience in your life is constant, and that you always have more than enough money in all its forms to use, to enjoy, to invest however you choose to share in the way that you are guided by your soul to share, to save if that's what you choose to do. You know that your abundance of money is natural, and that you experience your abundance of money easy, effortlessly, in perfect ways. So how can this creation, how can this manifest in your life? How can this identity as a sovereign being when it comes to money manifest in your life? You may feel a pull to call someone, just to call and say hi. You're not expecting anything from this individual. And all of a sudden at the end of the conversation, this person says, well, I'm sending you some money. I just appreciate your call. I'm sending you. And that is not even what you were thinking about. Again, that when you are creating, when you are manifesting, this is why it's so important to not be attached to the outcome. When your focus is on what you desire, when your focus is on yourself and what you desire, the how is not your problem. All right? So if you have a business of some sort, or even if you don't have a business, you may, again, I'm going to use the same example that I used when I was talking about the workplace example. Your desire is for more abundance of money to come in. You may have a business idea, and perhaps you weren't even thinking of being a business owner, but now that idea, feels exciting to you and you don't know why. Well, that's because your soul, because you have stepped into your spiritual mastery, you've also activated parts of your DNA. Well, not parts, but all of your DNA that you've never tapped into before. You've tapped into now possibilities and realms that you've never tapped in before, because now you are expressing your spiritual elevation, your spiritual mastery to command what you desire, what your soul desires. Okay. So you may have this idea, a business idea. If you have a business, you may start to notice more orders coming in. Does that mean more work for you? Nope. It's just more orders are coming in. And it may mean that, okay, now you have these orders coming in. Well, now you can hire someone else. Maybe now you can hire 2 more people to come in. Now you are experiencing the operation of the business that you've always desired to have. So you see how it's kind of like a domino effect, but in a good way. All right. If you are working with a company, you may be offered a promotion with a significant increase in your salary. You may be offered another position at another company. You could be out at the store. You could be eating lunch. You could be out to dinner. And you may meet someone who's looking for whatever position that you have in one company. They may offer you same position, but more money in their company. This is how the universe works. When we step into our spiritual mastery, not praying and pleading to a God up in heaven to fix it, but when we step into our mastery and say, this is what I command. All right. You could have an addition of money coming to you in unexpected ways. Do you not know that you could be minding your business and someone off the street could come up to you and hand you money? That happened to me recently. I was just going for a walk, normal walk, minding my business. A woman hands me $100. Have I seen this woman before? No. Had no idea who this woman was. She just handed me $100. Thanks. Okay? We underestimate, because religious dogma, religious programming has caused us to look outside of ourselves for what we desire. And the moment we say, no more, I am the spiritual master. I am ready to walk in my power, to walk in my magic. And this is not out. When I say power, a lot of us, and this is not part of my notes, but let me say this. A lot of us are not embracing that in who we are as spiritual masters, because that word power has such a negative connotation because we see it in the world. There are people in what we will call powerful positions that are using that position in very shitty ways. Okay? So it's hard for us to use that word because it has a negative connotation. When I talk about spiritual power, I'm not talking about powering over any individual. This is about when you step back into what is truly aligned for you, what is truly aligned for your spiritual mastery, and for you to express your spiritual mastery in a certain way. This is not about control over anyone. When you're coming from a place of, I want to be in my spiritual mastery because I know there's an elevated way for me to live on this physical plane. I want to be in this life, but I know there is more for me. When it comes from your soul, there is going to be, it has to be an element of love. When you are functioning from your soul, there is an element of love in that. When you're functioning from your spiritual mastery from that place, it is going to positively influence the world. That's just a natural progression. But first, you have to be willing to step into that, and you have to be willing to say, yes, I am a powerful spiritual being. It has nothing to do with controlling other people or manipulating other people. It's hard for us to say the word power because it has always been attached to people who are in power, who have manipulated other people, who are anti-human preservation. Yes, we've seen it. So I understand that sentiment, but no, that is not the case for you. If you are watching this, you are meant to be powerful in your spiritual mastery, to command your desire. Okay, so, this is the last example. I lost my spot. But so when we're talking about stepping into our sovereign identity when it deals with money, you could, let's say you're a writer, you're an author, you could get this idea for an entire book series where money flows. But that is just one avenue of your abundance of money. So you cannot be attached to the how. It's just your focus. Only thing you need to be worried about is what you're focused on. You could see cash laying somewhere, which has happened to me as well. There can be cash laying that is just laying there. You're the only one around. You're looking around. There's no one there. That is a real thing. Okay? Now, I want to ask you this question as we end. This video wasn't as long as I thought it was. So, what is your focus in your creation? What is your focus in your manifestation? Are you begging and pleading and waiting for some God to fix the unwanted? Are you begging and pleading for the unwanted to be removed? Or are you stepping into your spiritual mastery and you are commanding what is divinely yours? Only you can answer that question. All right, so I want to leave you with that. And don't forget, if you would like to have these examples that we just went through, if you would like to have that in a PDF version, just comment, I want it, or comment, please, or comment, PDF, please, however you want to word it, but be polite, all right? And I will send you the link so that you can have access to what we covered in today's video. Also, remember, I offer one-on-one support. All right. So if you are wanting more one-on-one support and confidently stepping into your spiritual mastery, yours, not everybody else's, not what your family is used to, but into your spiritual mastery so that you can start to use your gifts in complete confidence, not worried about what it looks like to other people. All right. This is about you. This is about you, and it positively influences those around you. It positively influences every single aspect of your life. If you're ready for that, to experience that type of spiritual liberation, book a call with me today so that we can talk about how I can support you. Also, look at all the other resources that I provide to you when it comes to your spiritual elevation and mastery. All right. Until next time, cheers.